Look at this. Watch the magic happen, chat. Look at the infinite FP and the infinite HP. Oh. Oh. Oh my god! Holy shit. What's up? I'm SYROBE, and today's video is a little special. This is something that I'm calling a theoretical run, and this is for a few reasons. The first reason being that I believe the spell, Rock Blaster, is one of the highest possible DPS you can achieve in Nightreign without explicit cheats, excluding stuff like Grafted Blade buff stacking one-shots, because that's a given since it's uncapped stat stacking within the game already. The second reason is that I wanted to explore the theoretical maximum damage limit that can be legitimately rolled on individual relics legally. This video is the very first time I've used any mods for Nightreign, so all of my videos prior were without any use of third-party tools to become transparent for the data and research that goes in today's topic. This means for today's video, my relics were actually generated within the intended design of the game's relic system without exploiting bugs, not breaking any rules, and not bypassing the logic of how relic stats are naturally generated by the game. A lot of you may have seen some juiced relics in the past, but a lot of those are also considered illegal, meaning they were manipulated by hand and break the game's logic for relic generation and are impossible to occur naturally. Luckily, there's a way to avoid this error. My relics here are the pinnacle of god rolls and are the highest possible damage that I can legally achieve for my Rock Blaster Sorcery. These might look sus to the average person, so allow me to explain how this is possible and what a legal relic is. Essentially, rather than manually manipulating relics as some have done in the past, often resulting in either combinations that are impossible for the game to generate or completely invalid buffs that the game never actually uses, the legal process of relic generation involves the game itself generating the relics naturally just like it always does. But instead, you tweak the drop rate values of the buffs you want. This approach ensures that all results remain consistent within the intended relic generation system. The only adjustment made is by modifying the weights of specific buffs that you want the game to prioritize, enabling you to pursue desired buffs without bypassing or breaking any core logic of the relic system within the game. This process involves using a tool like Smithbox to edit your regulation.bin files and adjust the weights of specific relic buffs, allowing the game itself to determine whether those buffs can be generated on a relic in the first place. This removes the risk of human error, invalid combinations, or illegal buffs that don't exist within the game's logic system. Manual relic editing can easily contain combinations that the game would never generate, making them considered illegal. So if I were to change all of the weights of relic buffs in the game to 0 and then only had stone sorcery buffs at 100% weight, meaning when the game generates my relics, the game would not generate 3 stone sorcery buffs on a single relic. If I did have one through the use of manual relic manipulation, that would be considered illegal because the game would never generate such a relic. Nightreign's relic system is extremely specific and meticulous for its relic generation. In fact, the way that the game generates relics is so complex I can't even thoroughly explain it all, but even the appearance of buffs on each individual relic, for example, have a specific order based on which types of buffs your relics receive. In this example, my relics have something that boosts my attack power. These attack power buffs must always come before something that boosts my sorcery spell's damage. Why? That's just how the game fucking handles this logic. I don't know. This logic applies to all relics, but even then there are some exceptions to this rule. In another example, I have the same sorcery buff with an evergaol attack buff. So here, why isn't the evergaol attack buff above the sorcery buff like my other relic? Because the evergaol attack buff happens to be a special kind of attack buff that the game recognizes differently from the other attack buffs. Again, I don't have the exact answer as to why this is, but the simplest solution is that it might be because the evergaol attack buff is actually a 0% buff until you clear an evergaol and constantly updates in the game's progress of clearing evergaols throughout an entire run, while other attack buffs might be a simple true or false boolean where you either either meet the requirement to activate that buff or not. Again, this is merely speculation and conjecture for the logic of the game, as it is being reverse engineered. I want to take this time to give a massive shout out to some amazing people in my community. Nightreign, Sorceries, and Sandusky are all people who contributed to these findings with me in my Twitch live streams, where all of this footage was tested and recorded live. If you enjoyed, leave a like, and hopefully I'll see you live on Twitch as well. I've been SYROBE, and enjoy the test run. Peace. All right. We are finally here with my first ever theoretical DPS cap run. I have the best in slot relics with a ton of damage buffs. I'll probably throw it on the screen later. Then I have my clubs here to activate the passive, and I have a starting staff that has been modded via the use of a regulation bin file, much like my relics. However, everything that I have is technically legit. It is all legal within the confines of the game and the parameters that you can generate both relics and staves in the game by proper means. Meaning that whatever I have on me is not physically impossible to have. It is very accurate to the point where what I have that you can see is possible for you to get. It might be extremely unlikely, but it's still possible. And that's the important part of doing an experimental run like this, is I'm showing you the utmost damage threshold you could possibly achieve within the confines and limits that the game has set out for you. Let's see how it goes. We're testing the limits of Rock Blaster today. Rock Blaster is a very underrated stone sorcery that I think is a contender for one of the best spells in the game. But your mileage will vary because it is kind of hard to find, and it requires a lot of setup, actually. We also have a crater map, so we're just going to do this. Do a little spank. Boom. There we go. Don't need any of these. Ooh, I'll take the improved sorceries, though. We're not looking for any stabs here, but in case you were curious, we did a little bit of data mining and found out that the staff drop rate from specifically these locations, there are two types of drops you can get, a white or a blue. White being uncommon, white being common, and blue being uncommon. The white staves have a 70% chance drop rate, and the blue staves have a 30% chance drop rate. And then the type of staff that you find will always have the first spell tied to whatever the spell staff, or whatever the staff it came on. So for example, if you dropped a night staff, the Staff of Loss, that's always going to have Night Comet #1 on the first slot. But the second slot is random. That's complete RNG. And right now, I have, with the help of a couple people in my community, namely Sorceries and Nightreign, they are helping me figure out what exactly these spell weights are. So hopefully we'll have that out sooner rather than later. Here's the fun part of this staff, by the way. It does crazy damage. As long as they don't, you know, move. Iron Ball. I'll take that. YouTube video live? Yes, hopefully. If this run goes well, we will put it on YouTube. So that's what I've been testing this for. I wanted to do a theoretical run. That's what I'm coining this as. We're doing a theory run. A theory crafting run, if you will. So we can do a little bit of testing like this. And then we can do this. Look at this damage. Boom. See that, chat? Isn't that crazy? Good damage. You try to catch me off guard there. You silly goose. If only he stood still. Oh, successive attacks. Okay, I don't think that works on what I have. I'm pretty sure it doesn't. It works on Carry and Slicer, I'm pretty sure, but it doesn't work on Rock Blaster, even though it would be awesome if it did. It would be so cool if it did. What? How did that hit me from behind? Okay, never mind. How did I not hit him at all? Okay, he's bugged. Fuck you, he's bugged. Yes. Wait, those are kind of squishy, though. Oh, purple. Oh! No! I died. I died looking at the fucking hammer. We drill! Oh my god. Well, we got stun locked immediately, so that didn't work out well. We also don't have our ultimate. So far, we're not quite there at our peak performance yet, chat. Boom. Big slammer. Ooh, the stance break is crazy though. All right, we're just going. Easy. All right, let's go and get back our runes. We do want to get this evergaol here. We're gonna have to come back for that. More iframes. I'll do more iframes. Why not? I'll go to this evergaol, and then we just go straight up for the legendary upgrade for Rock Blaster. I think that's the move. No poise is the worst part about the spell. I wish you had some sort of hyper armor. I feel like spells where you're like, yeah, you have some at the end, like towards like the end of the spell when it's like in the ground, you get a little bit, but not until you drop the hammer. Ooh, stamina is perfect, by the way. You'll find that a lot of the spells that you cast have actually really low FP costs, but still an insanely high stamina cost. And you'll usually run out of stamina before you ever run out of FP if you are casting spells consistently. Her other biggest weakness, besides her stamina, is her dex. She has the lowest dex, or some of the lowest dex in the game, which means you have no points towards your casting speed. Someone like Duchess actually has more efficient DPS, despite not being able to restore her any of her FP, because she has way faster casting speed with more dex, and she has like a decent amount of int. Not as much int, still less. She still has less total int than the Recluse, but her dex allows her to cast a lot faster. So unless I get a weapon passive that says like increase cast speed, I'm going to be casting as slow as physically possible. Like I'll cast a spell at the same speed as a raider. Like that's how bad it is for Recluse. A lot of people also like forget that. The virtual dex is very important when it comes to the increased cast speed level 1. That's 30 points of virtual dex, and increased cast speed level 2 is 60 points of virtual dex. And that's from the weapon passes themselves, which stack. But I think the cap is 70. So as long as you have at least 10 dex and you get a level 2, you'll be capped out. But the Radagon icon automatically, like I don't want to say it automatically caps you out, but it gets you pretty close. You get pretty close with the Radagon icon. It's always +2, which is always 60 points of virtual dex from the Radagon icon. It is different than base Elden Ring. The numbers have changed, so we're gonna try this. Come here. No. This game sucks. These guys just dodge me. Here we go. Nice. Oh my god. Ooh. More attack power. Does improve affinity work on staves? It should. It's all magic damage. Whenever it's like any source of magic damage. I mean, the regular buffs like magic attack power from your relics also work on your staves, so I'm assuming it works like that logistically. Look at this. Watch the magic happen, chat. Look at the infinite FP and the infinite HP. Oh, well. That was cool while it lasted, though. Dead. Look at how fast we shredded him with the Rock Blaster, chat. Rock Blaster is slept on. Probably because you can't really find it, you know? I love these suck. The added affinity attacks are for like... Oh, wait, hold on. Oh! Legendary Rock Blaster. There we go. Holy... 231 sorcery scaling with the Rock Blaster, and on my ultimate as well. That is juiced. Oh, and a gold. Don't mind if I do. Yeah, so improved affinity attack power raises attacks of magic, fire, lightning, and holy. It does not say added affinity. It is just affinity in general. So that should be working for my spells. Watch this, chat. Oh, the damage! Oh, hold on. My god. I like half health him with one Rock Blaster. Oh! Get away from me. 1 HP. I wish there was a follow-up on these. Ooh, right in the mouth. Ooh, poise. We'll take the poise. That's gonna be huge for this. All right, let me at him. I sleep on everything. Honestly, I shouldn't have used my ultimate because now I don't have my ultimate for this phase. And this is really what I'm gonna want my ultimate like right now. All right, let's take a look here. We are against Holster. Legendary Rock Blaster in action. Fully min-maxed to the highest possible potential of damage in Nightreign. I mean, the Glintstone Pebble's chunking him. Oh my god, the Glintstone Pebble's actually doing crazy work. I should probably put his second phase on. Look at this. Oh my god! Holy shit! Power of Rock Blaster. Hold on. Where are you going? Where are you coming, buddy? Give me my ult. I want my ultimate. I want my ultimates. Give me my ultimate, buddy. Ooh, whoa. A little spicier, aren't we? Come here, buddy. Where are you going, buddy? Easy dodge. Stab. One. Oh, wait. Come on. I was too close. I forgot there's a standing hitbox there too. Oh, he has gravity. Interesting. Hello. I want to use my ultimate. Let me use my ultimate on you. Yes. Die. I want to use my ult for the funny haha moment. Give me my ultimate charge. Yes. We're gonna do this finish. I wanted to get this. Drill him! Oh. You know what? That didn't work out as well as I thought it would. He kind of just slapped the shit out of me. Maybe we wait until he stops his, like, energy bullshit. Yeah, like that. Maybe we wait until that's over. Well, that one's the instant one. All right, now he should be normal. He's gonna dash straight into me. One, and then three. Boom, like that. And then we drill. Never mind. He slapped me. I'm messing around. I'm being very silly. But I want to get him with the drill, chat. Drilling to death! Wait, look at the damage. It's going still. Alright. I did a little bit of silliness because I wanted to kill him with the drill specifically. I could have just popped him with Glintstone Pebble, but it was for the show. It was for the experimental limit test of the highest possible damage you can achieve using Rock Blaster. I think this was a great experiment. Obviously, I did use third-party tools to get the Rock Blaster to spawn because it's something you might not normally see, but that's the point of the video. Now you can verify, hey, this is a pretty damn good spell, and if you come across it in your runs, probably worth picking up. Hi to YouTube boys. If you're on Twitch right now, I'm actually live streaming all of us on Twitch, so if you're on the YouTube side of things, be sure to check me out live on Twitch for more Recluse gaming. I am on Twitch, sus. Yes, and you're all gonna be on YouTube. Yeah, amazing. I mean, I absolutely melted him in that first phase with it. So the problem with Rock Blaster is it's an amazing spell. It does amazing damage, tons of DPS, but the problem is that it has no hyper armor until you like until you go down. I think the moment you bring it downwards, the moment your character starts going down is when you actually get the hyper armor. It's very, very brief and it's a very tiny window. While you're holding it in the air, you get pretty much nothing. And then while you actually stab it, that's when you seem to get a little bit. Not a whole lot though. Consider the following. Iron jar aromatic. Yes, perfect. Ship it.